Here in a world where all hope seems lost, greater is He who resides in us. God, we stand unshaken.
Hey guys, welcome to our sermon preview for this week. I'm Morgan and I'm with Nick. Nick, would you like to tell me what series we're in and what week?
Yeah, so we are in our 4th week of our Unshaken series,
Okay.
Which has just been a really great series looking at the faith of the Thessalonians and how they've stood firm in the midst of all kinds of different things.
Yeah, okay, so what happened the past 4 weeks?
Yeah, so we've seen this really cool movement. You know, Paul is, obviously he's writing this letter to them, and we've seen a lot of encouragement from him because he knows he was only there for a little bit of time, but he has this great love and appreciation for the Thessalonian Christians. And so there's this encouragement towards walking in a manner worthy of God. There's an encouragement towards receiving the word as the word of God, not just the word of man, and the power that brings to them, of that the word is working in them. And so just this overall encouragement towards this solid faith that he wants them and has a desire for them to have, and that he's actually heard that they are living out this way. So it's this joyfulness and this thanksgiving that that they are actually living in that manner.
Yeah, so where are we going with this week?
This week, yeah. So we are, the passage is a little bit longer. We're going to finish up the end of chapter 2, so starting in verse 17, and then we're going to go flip into chapter 3 all the way to the end of that chapter, verse 13. So starting in chapter 2, verse 17, down to chapter 3, verse 13. And this is it's a really great passage. I mean, all of them are great passages, but this is a really great passage. So, Morgan, let me ask you this question. As you have looked at this passage, what is maybe one verse or one phrase or concept that really sticks out to you of like, hey, this seems to be maybe a really important piece and an overarching theme within this passage?
Okay, so with reading this, verse 12 is what stuck out to me, abounding in love.
Yeah, that's such a great verse. Maybe a verse you're familiar with even, this idea of may the Lord increase and abound your love for one another. And so we see throughout this whole passage, actually, if we kind of read the passage through this lens of abounding in love, we see all these other things coming out of, like, Paul is telling them, listen, folks, like this is not about doing it on your own, but this is about doing it together. And there's this these different themes within there that really talk about, or that point us to the Thessalonians' love for Jesus, Paul's love for the Thessalonians, and then the Thessalonians' love for each other, right? And we see that coming throughout the whole passage. But there's also some other ways that I think we can interpret and pull out of different ways that Paul is telling them to walk this journey together. So Morgan, again, as you're looking at this passage, what's maybe another way that you see Paul is encouraging them to do it together?
Yeah, so Paul encouraged them to suffer together and also to grow together.
Yeah, right. So even in the suffering together, it's like even he is joining in on that, right? He's suffering with them. In the encouragement, we see that Timothy is sent to exhort and encourage them and build them up. And even later it talks about, filling in what they lack type of thing, right? So it's this idea of building each other up and encouraging each other, growing with each other in a spiritual growth type of way. So lots of really great things in this passage. Really excited for being able to pull it apart and see what are the different ways that Paul is saying, hey, we need to do this together. This isn't to be, this journey of life is not intended to be done alone, right? And so it's all about relationships. It's all about doing it with each other. So I'm looking forward to Sunday. I think Morgan is as well.
Yep.
We hope you are too. We'll see you then. Take care.
Nothing to fear.